So I have Genevieve Cheung with me today, and she's one of our authors. It was so good to meet you in real life and in person.
Yes.
Um, like I love your story. I love everything that you've done with your chapter because it's very, very thought-provoking. Like I remember reading it and I was like, oh my God, I've never thought about this before. So first of all, thank you for taking the time to write the chapter. I know you're a very, very busy lady, extremely busy lady. But I'm so glad that we could take the time to talk about the chapter today. And first off, I want to, introduce you to everybody who's listening, everybody who's watching the video. And I want you to tell us a little bit about, like, what is your job like? Because I know you do a lot.
Um, okay, well, let me, I guess, hi, Sanya.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. What a pleasure. Um, I would just say I'm a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
To simplify, I have two business. One is Atticus Consulting. It is a consultancy offering project management and procurement management services for hospitality construction projects, actually. It's quite
Nice.
niche. Yes, so this is that, like I mean, I was a staff working for a hospitality company before. So, I kind of lean in on my experience, my training,
Mhm.
my professional like designation and all that stuff. And that's kind of what my consultancy is about. It's kind of really relatively new. We're just a couple years in, so I'm still finding my footing.
Always
And then I
good,
also have uh, a rum because I live in Barbados.
of course.
Although I'm from Canada, I have a rum ready to drink business named Blue Mojito. Totally different, capacity. Just kind of getting my feet wet into manufacturing industry and navigating, I guess building a brand
Mhm.
in for a product. So it's called Blue Mojito, and yeah, both are my main endeavors.
Mhm.
That takes up most of my time, and
Oh my gosh.
I I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades and a lot of other random things, but let's start with these two.
Yes, yes, those two are perfect because I know like your background in project management and construction, all of those great procurements, like those are very key concepts and key responsibilities and key roles. And it all sort of relates back to STEM because I know you have your degree in engineering. So having that
Mhm.
engineering background, I mean, it helps us to navigate so many different things. That's why I know you can handle these two businesses.
Absolutely. I always, like, I mean, at this point, I can't discern whether it is, by training or by personality, but,
Ah,
like engineering definitely had equipped me with so much intangible. You would think it's like the
mm-hmm.
technical knowledge. I mean, like I'm
No.
trying to, I'm like, when last did I did a moment diagram?
Oh my
You
gosh, no.
right? But what it equipped me with that I've been able to carry into my professional life and help me, in so many ways is the attitude of like problem solving, being
Mm,
methodical in your approach.
yes.
I don't think I'm the most organized person from like a living perspective, but how I approach, like problem task, whether
Mhm.
it is something higher level strategic or like more mundane, like, okay, how do I prioritize tasks? There's a systematic approach to
Right.
problem solving that I really, really do value.
Yes, and like your personality has a lot to do with it as well. So like I think it's a great mix of just bringing everything together. And you touched
Yes.
on that a little bit in your chapter because you were talking about the fact that there's always going to be a bit of a divide. There's always going to be somebody who's going to be underrepresented or somebody's going to be overrepresented. Like, and I never thought about it like that. Like, I never, took that
We
time.
have a zero sum kind of like, mentality. Well, I guess that's kind of like how I'm trying to describe it, like not they're because the population is finite.
Hmm.
That's why I said, if you want to increase participation of women in STEM, and as I guess a narrow definition of STEM, then we can definitely see that there's going to be a reduction in like the counter gender in
Right.
something else, right? So that's not to take away what the real objective is, right? My purpose of writing about the chapter is not to say, well, let's throw our hands up and say, let's let nature do its thing, and you know, I think there's a lot of like external factors that
Hmm.
inhibit women from participating in STEM. Like I'm very cognizant that I was writing in the context of a North American standards, right?
Hmm.
Where generally there is equal access to
Right.
education for boys and girls. Where there is some level of meritocracy into higher level of educations, and hopefully by some extension, in terms of like opportunities into the workplace,
Hmm.
you're not going to be not considered because you're a woman, but
Right.
your whether you choose to pursue that field professionally or stay in it, could be attributed because of your woman and the
Right.
associated obligations that you have as a woman, right, into other realms of your life. So I just kind of was not necessarily tongue in cheek, because I think like I wrote it much more seriously
Hmm.
than I think my actual personality is. So like for my next chapter, I'll definitely like inject more my
Oh
voice
yes.
in your next book. But but the intention is just to like kind of draw light to it, like, what are we really focusing on when we
Hmm.
say increase more participation in STEM? Is
Oh
it just
yeah.
the numbers? Like, is that, just to say that we have this many of women in this
A
school?
checkbox. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's really the point it's coming from.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what would you say to inspire more people to get into like these STEM fields? Because clearly we can see with your background in engineering, you're able to go into so many different areas. I know use that
Um,
knowledge.
I think I mean I've been very fortunate. I think I grew up in a household of women, right? I'm
Hmm.
the elder of like two girls. I'm the eldest sister. And so, like there wasn't anyone setting an example for me per
Uh,
se, but at the same time, like, being like immigrant Chinese
mm-hmm.
in Canada, I don't think it was ever imposed on me like of what my parents never imposed on me and what they think I should pursue like
Ah,
professionally. And that was like the biggest blessing. It didn't even occur to me that engineering is like a boys,
okay.
kind of world until I think probably when I was signing up for university and my classmates said, "Oh, that's a lot of guys." Like
Ah,
I didn't even know
yeah.
engineering was a predominantly like male kind of subject, right? I was, in high school, like I took the math and sciences because I liked them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I took art class and I was a music student. So, I to go back to what would I say to inspire more, maybe if we weren't so focused on what STEM is, and we encourage like, full development of any
Ah,
child, like not really kind of like indoctrinate their mind that
mm-hmm.
these are subject for boys and these are subject for
Right.
girls, and they're just subjects to learn. And if you enjoy them, then dig
You
deeper.
enjoyed it? Yeah.
Um, again, this is also from a North American perspective, right? Like I think globally at large, I would just say, well, access to education is the most
Mm-hmm.
important thing for all children. Like that's the starting point for, any minds that can be nurtured into, the next Einstein, right?
Yes. Definitely. But I know you're a busy lady. Thank you so much for your time today and for taking the time to write that chapter for us,
Thank
sharing
you.
your wisdom with us because it is a very intriguing chapter. And I encourage everybody to, take a look, read the chapter, find out some more because she drops some very hard stats in there. And it will definitely like change your mindset and change the way that you think about this. And like it's very thought-provoking. And I loved that you wrote that chapter, Jen. Like amazing. Thank you so
Much.
much for your time today. And make sure you all get a copy of the book and check out Jen's chapter. All right. Thank
You.
you. Bye.